Recording is on.
Okay, so yesterday we talked about AI prompting, how we can make good use of AI for our product management work. So today we're going to be looking at risk management in products. I'm trying to show my slide. Okay, please confirm that you can see my screen. Okay, all right. Let's go straight to the business of today. We'll come back to the AI prompting assignments that I gave yesterday, but yeah, let's quickly look at risk management. We've talked about something like technical debt, risk management, but today we want to talk about risk management in products. How do we manage risks? Risk is everywhere, and we all know that life itself it's a risk. So we need to understand how we can manage risks in products. So okay. So what is risk management in product? Risk management in product is a process of identifying, assessing, and reducing uncertainties that could cause a product to fail, harm users, or damage the business. Now we should know that risk is inevitable. There's no way you can like totally eradicate risk. Risk is part of life. Risk has come to stay. But as product managers, we can mitigate the level of risk that a product is prone to. So that's why we need to have that skill of how we will be able to manage risks when it comes to products. So it's the process of we trying to identify. First thing, you identify that there's a risk. The second one is you assess that risk. And the third one is you reduce the uncertainties that could cause that product to fail. You reduce the uncertainties of that risk. Whatever will cause a product to fail is a risk. Whatever will harm a product or harm user, it's a risk. Whatever will damage the business, it's also risk. So now it's you being able to identify it, being able to assess it, and being able to reduce the likelihood of it occurring to that product or to the business. That's being able to effectively and efficiently manage or mitigate risk. So as product manager, do not make that mistake of trying to eliminate risks. You do not want to, like, you want to eliminate risk completely. Do not even try that. You cannot do that. So don't make that mistake of wasting your time on trying to eliminate it. Rather, try to mitigate it. Try to manage it. Don't put all your effort, or don't channel your efforts that I don't want to I don't want to have any risks when it comes to this product. See, life itself is a risk. In everything that we do, it is risks. It is risks that way. Like, okay, I'm presenting and I'm charging my laptop is a risk. What if the laptop explode? So life itself is a risk. That you're in your fan, you are in your house, you're using ceiling fan, it's a risk. You cannot say because you do not you want to completely eradicate risk, or you don't want to come across anything that has to do with risk, then you will end up not using. Let me quickly give a short story of a man that was like, oh, okay, because uh his friend was killed due to accident, vehicle, a road accident. So he said he wasn't going to be entering what's it called, transport or any vehicle again. So wherever he's going, you have to check. So as he was even trekking one day, still same vehicle still came to come and hit him and he died. So there's no way you can eliminate it, that it's part of life. Like, it has come to stay. You just have to know how to manage it. So you can, even if you are saying that you don't want to go leave your house because there is road accident, there's this. Haven't you heard of people that are in their houses and they die in their house? Some people just slum and die, and that's it. It's not as if there is how would I call it, domestic accident too. So you cannot say because even people that are hit by vehicles that they die, it's still vehicle that will transport them to the mortuary or to where they're going to bury them. So risk is part of life. Don't make that mistake of you want to completely eliminate it. Just try to manage the likelihood of that risk. So understand it as a product manager. Prioritize it and manage your trade-offs. We already know what trade-offs are. Trade-offs are things that you do, like comparing A and B, things that you give up for another in order for one to work. So understand it, prioritize the important ones. That's why prioritization is very important, and in almost all the topics that we've talked about, in one way or the other, it has always been related to, it will still come back to prioritization. So we really need to know how to prioritize things. We need to manage our trade-offs effectively, especially now that we are going to start a capstone project. So the our employer is not going to tell us that this is how you're going to do it. You have to understand it. They will not even tell you the risks involved. You have to see the risks as a product manager. They won't tell you to eliminate it. You have to mitigate it. You have to manage the risks. So you have to see all of this. You have to prioritize. You have to manage your trade-offs and know why you are doing this. It's very important that you know why you are doing this. Okay, to the next slide. I don't know why this is slow. Why risk management matters for product managers. Without risk management, if there is no risk management, products will fail after launch. You do not manage the risks. You don't manage your technical risks. You don't manage your compliance risks. You just like business risks, everything. There is nothing that concerns you. You are not a risk manager. So let the risk manager, the company should go and employ a risk manager to do that. No, the company will not do that. You as a product manager needs to be able to manage the risks. So if you're not able to manage your risks, your product will fail after launch. Users will lost trust in your products. Imagine you launch the product and the product fail woefully, and you are coming back to iterate the products. Users trust will be lost, and that's what took us back to a question I think Tofumi asked, was it yesterday or the first day, I can't really remember. That okay, you know that the system is not okay, you know that the system has bug, the system is not fixed, but management said you should launch the product, like you have deadlines to meet because you want to launch the product. As a product manager, you have to prioritize, is it quality over profit? So depending on that state that you are, if you know that the bugs are critical, the bugs are too much, the risks involved is too much, then you have to manage the expectations of the stakeholders. Because if you end up launching such products, users will lose their trust. Their trust, your integrity as a business is at stake because of that product. So you really need to be able to manage this well. So that's why without risk management, the users will lose trust in your business or in your products. They don't even want to know if you want to iterate and make it better. They don't want to know. Like that first come first, what's it called? Let me give you an instance, for instance now. How do I put it? Okay, Paga. I think I once used Paga and I was, well, I would say it's due to my own negligence, but even at that, I was scammed. Because of that, I don't want to, in fact, I don't even want to have anything to do with that account again. Even after I now notice that, okay, this is how I can go about it, I do not want to, like, because that account has been tampered, I don't want to have anything to do with it again. Because I was like, damn, if Paga could not really tighten, how will I put it now, their own security, that scammers, fraudsters can easily hack into their system. And there are a lot of what's it called, there are a lot of posts, there are a lot of adverts regarding Paga online, and Paga is not doing anything, like, in quotes, they are not really doing anything about it. You see scammers will tell you that, okay, you get Paga POS for free, they will even give you their table, they will give you this. And Paga has an official page on all of these social media platforms, and all of these fraudsters keep advertising their, what's it called, products. Paga hasn't done anything or released like a public statement that, okay, oh, this oh, like, nothing. I was like, because of that, me, I'm not sure I won't even, like, I didn't see the combination that I want to use this product again. So that's just it. So, like, that trust, I was like, if this can happen, how much more if I now put more money inside this account? So users trust, if you want that, you want to ensure that your integrity is there, is not at stake, you really need to be able to integrate risk management or incorporate risk management in whatever it is you are doing as a product manager. Company will lose money. Imagine users dropping off because the product fail after launch, or because users do no longer trust the product. Users will leave and use for competitors have. That way the company will lose money. The company will lose money. And some can even face the risks of fines or shutdown, especially when it has to do with the fintech applications, fintech products. For instance, now let's not even delve too far. Let's say Nigeria, for instance, CBN has given you license as a remittance company, and you now build a product. When you built your product, you did not manage your risks well. Your compliance was not authentic. Like, your compliance was not that, how will I put it now? Your compliance is not concrete enough to be able to detect fraud, and your platform was used, or your product was used for fraud. What do you think will happen to your license? What do you think will happen to the business? The business will shut down. Or if they even pity the business, they can say, okay, pay a fine. And if the fine is too much that you cannot even, it's not something you can even pay, the business is at risk. So when it comes to risk management, it's us, especially if you find yourself working in fact, if you find yourself working in the fintech space, it's very, very important that you understand risk management. Don't say this one is not my job. See, one thing I've learned on this product management journey is, don't say I cannot do this. Don't say I will only work according to my JD. I don't want to work outside of my job description. Remember that you are the CEO of the product and you work cross functional. You work cross functional. So if it has to be like you have to learn something new, learn it. It's because of the product. It's because of the products, nothing more. It's just because of the product. So if you have to learn something new, learn it. It's very important. If it has to do like, oh, learn something new. I remember when we were working on the product that we finally yeah, it's a fintech product. Then we hired a new, I think, an associate. And he was like, he hasn't seen a product manager that is so passionate about testing like I do. I can't say because, okay, because I have testers, I will now rely on the testers to be testing for me. I understand the products. I know where to test. So I didn't leave it to them. And sometimes you even see them giving you attitude. I did not leave the testing to them. Yes, they have their own to test, as I'm not a QA person. They have their own to test. But I myself, real test, I don't even wait for them to test for me. I test myself for everything I do. I test. I sync with my developers. Oh, you've done this feature. I test immediately. If there's any feedback I need to give, I give it immediately before the QA, because the QA can even tell you that they have a lot of project they are working on and they are not prioritizing your own project at that point in time. Am I now going to hold on and wait? So it's not as if I learnt QA, but the job demands I and be able to test. So that's why you have to learn. So if it is for you to start reading resources, materials on how you can manage your risks when it comes to the products that you are building, go and learn it. It's very important that you understand whatever environment that you find yourself, try and understand something that works, something that will help that environment. Now, when I find myself in the fintech space, I had to start learning about regulatory bodies too, compliance. I didn't see myself doing. If somebody tell me that you'll be doing compliance, you'll be doing KYC, you'll be doing AML, I'll be like, why? What's my home with that? Am I a compliance person? But because okay, this is a space I find myself at that point in time, I have to quickly adjust to it. I just had to adjust to it. That's what one of what's it called was also saying. I I would say a friend and a sister was like, okay, at this point that she is, she has started learning cyber security because of the space that she is at the moment. That she's a product manager, she's a lead product manager. And she was like, oh, she's currently learning cyber security, not because she wants to learn it, but because the job demands it. So there are some things that you just have to, even if it is not all the information, you have to have surface level. And that's still what will take me back to the question that somebody was asking, if you don't have the technical knowledge and your engineering team is telling you that they cannot build this thing, how will you detect that? There are so many ways to detect that. And that's why I said sync with your engineering team. Understand why they are doing this thing. I believe there is nothing that cannot be done. There is nothing impossible. Understand why they are doing this, and that's why we talked about AI yesterday too. AI will help you. Just prompt your AI. Prompt your AI. Put your AI in the shoes of a developer and tell your AI what you want to do. Let me now see what the AI will give you, if the AI will tell you it is achievable or not. So there are so many ways. You cannot say because you are not knowledgeable or you are not learned in that area, because they tell me A, I will not just say that's how it should be. You have to learn things depending on the environment, depending on the industry you find yourself. Whatever industry you find yourself, one thing as a product manager, one soft skill you should have is adaptability. Be flexible, don't be too rigid. Hey, my background is this, I cannot learn this, I cannot do this, so it is not my work. Oh, me, I'm not, see, that's why they said there's this what's it called I saw, I don't know, should I call it meme or what, I don't even know. They said that why you see 80% of guys or 80% of male getting positions and the females are just there, like you see them occupying important positions, but the females folks are just like few. You see 20% and you see 80% of guys. It's because guys will apply for a job that they know that they are 10% qualified for. But if it is a lady, the female gender will be like, I'm not qualified for this job. But you see a guy, you see all the requirement, it has like 100 requirements and it's only 2 or 3 requirements that they fit in, they will still apply for that job. That audacity, they have that confidence, not that I'm not what's it called, I'm not fit for the job. They don't do that. They will still apply, they will still go ahead and apply for the job. And those are the kind of confidence, those are the kind of skills you should build as product manager. Your what's it called, management say, oh, we want to build this product, you look like, hey, I've not built this one before. Me that I'm just new, me that I'm intern, me that I just finished learning product. It doesn't matter. Even if you just finished learning yesterday, even if you are still learning, it doesn't matter. Yes, I can do it. Collect the job first, you can do it, then you now look for how you are going to do it. You apply all, that's why all of this are training as recording. Go back to your recording, go back to your slide, use your AI, then let's see if you'll be able to perform or not. So you don't need to be too rigid that you are not flexible to want to learn more. Learn whatever will work for your organization. Whatever organization you find yourself, Learn what works for them so that it will be beneficial to you. And when you are learning, you are not learning for your company, because that company is not your company, and one day you will leave that company and go to another company. So you are learning for yourself and not for your company. If your company do not do training, your company is not those that will train you and say, oh yeah, go for 6 month training, go for this training. Train yourself, use your money, train yourself, because those trainings are not for your company but for you. So train yourself, like you have to start improving, work more on yourself when it comes to understanding the job, because it's not just about you, it's not just about the job now, it's about you. You are building your portfolio, you don't know where those skills will take you later. So now, product managers sit at the intersection of technology. We talked about this in introduction to product management. They sit at the intersection of technology, the business, the users, and the regulators. That's the regulations. So you need to balance these four things. You really need to balance it. I remember that I've attended an interview before and they asked me about these four things. That as a product manager, how do you balance business needs, technology needs, user and regulatory needs? So you are in the middle. Now you have to ensure that technology that you are providing, if you find yourself in the technology space now, technology that you are providing is meeting business needs and also balancing the needs of the user, while not neglecting the regulatory standards and the regulatory rules, so that you do not fall into the trap of regulators. You build a future and you enter into regulator wahala. So you need to consider regulatory body. One thing is, product managers work cross functional. You have a compliance person, you work cross functional in the sense that you talk to your compliance person. Compliance has told you that, okay, these are the requirements for you to build a saving application in Nigeria. This is what CBN has are required that all users should have. They now list like 200 things. As a product manager, they list like 200 things that you need to collect from your customers. Compliance tell you that, okay, no, 200 is even outrageous. Compliance tells you that they will need 10 informations, like 10 things the customers should provide before they can be onboarded on the platform. You as a product manager, you have already made your research. You've looked at competitors' app, users research, you've done your survey, and look like other competitors' app maybe are not asking for too much of information up to 10. They're asking for maybe 3 or 5. Users, you putting yourself in this shoes of the user self, you know that this 10 information is too much. How are you going to balance this regulatory and the business, the technology, and your user need now? Compliance tell you that it's 10 things that they need before you can onboard a customer. Customers are not willing to provide the 10, which can lead to churns. What are you going to do as a product manager now if you find yourself in this kind of situation? How are you going to balance the technology that you want to build? Why not neglecting compliance, which is regulators, and also meeting your users' need? How are you going to balance it? Anyone? Anyone want to come in? Any idea? Just put yourself in the shoes of a product manager now and look like, okay, how how are you going to balance things here? Are you there? Can anyone hear me at all? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So they
Can you hear me?
try to attempt the question.
Um, I don't know. 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 But if I was the one, maybe I would just try to first of all look at the goal of the company as a whole before anything else. Before now looking at the goal of the product itself, because
They
without the
look at the
without the
goal of
com-
what?
of the company
Oh, okay.
of the
Okay.
company itself, before now looking at the goal of the product, because without the company, the product might not exist in the first instance.
Mm.
So now from there, we now prioritize what exactly is good for the company, and then look at what is good for the product. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I don't
Oh,
know if
okay.
that
Okay.
is
That's
what
fine. That's fine. Yeah, it makes sense though. I understand you. Okay, yeah, I know this might be kind of tricky for us, Sha. But this is what I would do, and this is what I think you should do if you find yourself in such a situation. Compliance can tell you because I have found myself in such a situation, Sha. So this is the best. The Let me say this is just the way to approach it. You might think of other ones. It's just for you to work up to your compliance and get the minimum requirement. Now, compliance will not tell you minimum requirement at first. They will tell you this is that 10 things now might be all the things that CBN requires to be onboarded, but there is a minimum requirement. So what you need to do in such situation is okay, please, which one is the minimum requirement? Can you give me the minimum requirement? So then I'll tell you, okay, this. And if they say, if your compliance person now says, okay, there's no minimum requirement, that's all the requirements that they must provide, it's still fine. This is what you do. This is the approach I have used in the past. Okay, they want you to supply 10 informations to onboard. So you don't necessarily need to put all of those in 10 informations at once. So this is what I did then. Instead of putting the 10 information at once, you give them five first. You allow them to have access to the platform. Let them be able to sign up using that five information. When they now sign up, you leave some features for them. Let them be able to do some things. Then the main thing, the core things that you know this one will affect regulatory body, don't allow them to be able to do it. For them to be able to do it, that is when you now ask for additional information. It will just be more of them, more of you asking them for, oh yeah, provide this, oh yeah, provide your driver's license, provide your ID as additional information. But instead of giving them 10 informations at once, don't do that. It will scare them off. Like, why are you asking me all of these things? So give them the minimum. If compliance say there's a minimum, then go with the minimum. If they say no, there's no minimum, they must do this. Okay, no problem. You as a program manager, just streamline it, divide it, whichever way you want to do it. Okay, let them be able to provide for first. When they provide for, let them have access to their profile. Let them see other wonderful features on the platform. Let them be able to contact support. Let them be able to do this, but let them not be able to start sending money or saving. For them to save money, let them give us this other information. That one works for them. So you can use that approach. That way, customers that have signed up already, they are enjoying, they like the UI, they're already enjoying the application, and you ask them to just give few more informations, they will be able to do that. So that is one. Another one is you can use this method whereby instead of asking, there are some applications that you go to, they'll tell you, they just tell you first screen, what is your name? You put in your name. How old are you? You put in your age. You click on next. You don't even know if you still have 20 more questions to ask, abi to answer. You are just seeing it screen by screen, screen by screen. So you sef, even if you want to leave, you be like, I don't even know if I'm close to completion. Let me kuku ma finish this thing. So those are the ways I think you can approach in how you can balance it so that you don't neglect regulatory and you also meet your users need and also the business as well, then the technology suits what all of these want. So does that make sense to us, please? No one is responding.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
All right, thank you. Okay, so that's why it matters for PM to know how to manage risks because all of these things they are risks. So the three core types of product risks that we have. The first one is the technical risks. We have the market risks as well. We have compliance risks. And this compliance risk is usually very critical when it comes to fintech, when it comes to money. Anything that has to do with money compliance, you have to like that's the number one thing that you should even look at. You cannot launch your app if you are not regulatory, you are not compliance standards. Like fraudsters will just small mistake like this, fraudsters, scammers, they can use your platform, they can use your product to wire money before you know it, then you put yourself in trouble. So it's very important when you find yourself in the fintech space, compliance is something you should look into. So let's look at what technical risks is all about. The first one is technical risks, and this is the risks that the products cannot be built, it cannot be scaled, or maintained reliably. The products cannot be built, it cannot be scaled, or it cannot be maintained reliably. So, for instance, now your app crashes under high traffic. You built an app. Technical risks is you are building a product, a technology product. And when the product asks users, enough users, for instance, 300 users, it can crash because of the high traffic. So now you can now like manage it well. How do you manage this kind of thing now? By discussing it early with your engineering team. Okay, you just be like, oh, okay, this application that we want to build now, this is the capacity. One thing you should always look out for, you are not a technical person, you are not a technical PM, but when need to look at the technical risks involved. That's why I said sync, even if it is once in 2 weeks, try and be syncing with your engineers or preferably once in a week sha. When they are building now, like ask questions. Is this your system, is it scalable? This system that we are building, is it scalable? Can 1,000 people use this system? How is the main ten ance going to be like? So they tell you that this system, oh well, if we have 100 clients it can work. If we start having like 200 clients, the thing will be slow. The system will be slow. Yes, we've built app. My engineers will tell me that you see this thing that we are building, it is fine now, oh, but we will start having problem when we have a lot of clients using it. They'll tell you. They say we will start having problem that the thing will slow down. They'll tell you to slow down. It might even crash if it has to do with this. So now you now look at it. Your role as a PM is now like, okay, technical problem, technical risks now. Okay, now you already have your you have your products roadmap. Your first 3 months of launching, how many clients are you looking at onboarding? Okay, I'm looking at onboarding like 100 users. What's the capacity of this system for it to work fine as we have built it? Okay, is 150. Okay, and I'm looking at 100, and there's probability that I will not even get up to that 100, but I'm not optimistic that I will get 100. Okay, that means that works fine for now. So we can still manage it in the first 3 months of our launch. Then later when we start having more users, then we can increase, we can upgrade. You need to also ask them, is the system upgradable? Is even They cannot tell you no. But depending, you need to know, is it upgradable? Yes. Is it going to be easy to upgrade? I remembered there's a time we're building, no, yeah, we're building a product and we're trying to integrate to third party, and we are trying to now, like, okay, so they are giving us option that we can use this for our first phase, then later we can migrate to this. So that's what their technical team said. So I had to go and reach out to our own technical team that, okay, if we decide to go with this, if we decide to go with this style first and later we want to upgrade, how is it going to look like on the technical side? Is it something easy? They say no, it is not easy. Oh. It is better. That is not easy. It's better we integrate directly to that one we want to upgrade to in the nearest future, because upgrading later will be very much difficult than even integrating it at first. So that's why you now need to, like, oh, okay, instead of this, why not people, this option is not a good one. Let's integrate, since it's going to cost us the same resources. Let's just integrate with this directly rather than doing one and after maybe 6 months we now upgrade. They said that one will be more difficult. So that's why it's very good to, like, manage your technical risks. So say an example again, payment failures. Like, you can be like, okay, for instance, now payment, you are building a fintech app and you look at the payment failure, what's the rate? Okay, now you can have like 2%, 2%, maybe out of, for instance, you are having 100 transaction in a day. Out of your 100 transaction now is just 10 that is failing. Now you need to look at the rate. If you now start having 1,000 transactions, how is the failure rate going to look like? For every transaction you send, how many failures are you going to get? You need to look at that. What are the likelihood that these things can be mitigated? Because if failures are too much, users might not want to use the system again. Imagine you're having 20 failures in every 100 transaction. So you need to look for how to manage that as well. Another one is poor system performance. The system is overly slow. The system takes 10 minutes, 10 minutes to 10 minutes to settle funds into recipient account, which is not supposed to be. It should be instantly. There's this tech, what's it called? It's a tech program, in Lagos last year I attended, and NIMS, that's what's the full meaning of NIMS again? National, I NIMS are, I've forgotten, but NIMS are in charge of settlements for Nigeria, for payments. When you pay, they ensure that your funds settle into the recipient account. So they were saying this last year at the seminar that this year they're going to work on instant settlement, that once you are sending your money, your receiver is receiving it immediately. And that's what we have now. When you send your money, you receive, not like you now have delays, then sometimes money will not even drop. All of those issues. So you need to look at that as well. So your system needs to perform well. How many minutes does it take to settle your transactions? There's security vulnerabilities. Is your system vulnerable, that fraudsters, hackers can just hack into your system, get users' password, hack their accounts and all that. So you really need to. It's very important to whatever products you are building. You see this system vulnerability, you need to look at it. How vulnerable your system is. So sometimes organization employs a cyber, is it cyber security? I think it's a cyber security person to look at that. Then your engineering teams too, they'll look at that, and that's why your engineering team will always tell you that, mm, edge case, Elizabeth, this is the edge case. Oh. You as a product manager, sometimes you might not be looking at the edge cases. The engineers that will even tell you that see the edge case here. Edge case in the sense that if you do this thing, this is the downside of it. So you really need to look at your system security vulnerability. Ensure that your system is you are able to manage. You might not be able to 100% really manage your security vulnerability, but at least to a very reasonable extent, you need to be able to manage it. Then your technical debt, you have to manage it too. You have abracadabra, like you really want to do a quick fix now, a quick fix that the engineering team will now say, we will temporarily do this. Always remember all your technical debt. Is it worth doing? Is it a technical debt that you do today and it will affect other things tomorrow? You need to really look at that to ensure that whatever technical debts you are doing, you go back to pay it later, you go back to fix it well. So there are some things they will just tell, let me put a placeholder here, let me just quickly do a quick fix. That quick fix might cost something, so you need to weigh it. This quick fix that you want to do, what is the implication? If you do this thing now, what is the implication tomorrow? So you really need to do that. And your role as a PM is your early technical discussion with your engineers. Have an early technical discussion with your engineers. Don't say I'm not a technical person. Technically talk to them. Okay, this thing you're implementing, what's the vulnerability, what's the performance, what's the capability of the system, our storage, everything. Like, you have to know your MVPs and phased rollouts. So you have to also be like, okay, for our MVP, this is what we are doing, and we can increase the capacity in our next rollout. Okay, we'll be rolling out every 6 months. So it's just for you to be able to manage the risks. Okay, our system performance now is not too good, but we can go with it. In our next phase, we can increase it, like that. Then monitoring your system performance. Okay, that your engineering team have told you this is it, this is it, doesn't mean you leave it like that though. You have to monitor how the system is performing. Okay, your engineering team told you that the system is 190% fast. You need to also monitor it. Okay, somebody sends transaction, how many minutes does it take before settlement? Okay, how many failures? So you have to also consistently manage and monitor the system. So let's go to the market risks. When we talk about market risks, it's the risks that the users don't want or won't adopt the product. Okay. That's a risk that I think Tofumi asked something about this on Monday. Like, okay, you carried out your user survey, customers told you that they want to use your product, they want to use the feature, but you launched and nobody's using it, or the adoption rate was low. So that's another risk, which is called market risks, that you need to manage as a product manager. So you need to manage your product risks. That okay, how do I manage? What if people don't adopt this product? What do I do? Example would be solving the wrong problem. Another one is your wrong pricing model, solving the wrong problem. The problem customers are facing or users are facing is problem. For instance, let me use Abraham snap cook. Abraham is thinking that many students don't cook. Not that they don't have the food stuff, but because they don't know what to cook. It might not be that problem. It might be a wrong problem. It might be that they are lazy to cook, and that's why they have food stuff and they are not cooking. So if you now do a guesswork now and say it's because they don't know what they can cook, despite the fact that they have these items, ingredients, that means you are solving the wrong problem. So you need to conduct your user research very well. Your user interview is very, very important. Interview, don't make the mistake of your target audience are university students and you are interviewing secondary school students or you are interviewing, you want to do this, maybe people that are freshers 100 level to 400 or to 300 level, but you're not doing final year, which is not that maybe you are thinking they will use the app, but final year student maybe because they are busy with their projects and all that, and that's why they are not even cooking. So you need to ensure that your user interviews, your user research is based on your target audience. Do a very good survey the right people, your right audience. Survey your right audience. That's how you can solve that problem of solving the right problem rather than solving the wrong problem. That's how you can overcome that. For you to solve the right problem, interview the right audience. That's just it. Interview the right audience. Don't go and interview the wrong audience. If you interview the wrong audience, I don't know. So another one is wrong pricing model. Imagine you say you want to start your own ISP, internet service provider company now. You now say, my internet, I will not even be doing small small subscription. My internet subscription will start from 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira pricing model. Your subscription is five. How many people will even do 5,000 naira? And your target audience are students that don't even have money to eat. You're not saying you want to do 5,000 naira subscription. Or, for instance, now we talked about pricing model, where we have different pricing models that product managers use. Now, instead of subscription, you now say that it's going to be based on commission. You are using the wrong pricing model, and that's why I gave us that assignment that for that our beautiful product ideas, what pricing model are we going to use? Now, you build something like Uber, Bolt. You now said your pricing model is going to be monthly subscription. Who does that? How many people will use your products? People will run away. So me, I should be subscribing monthly. What if I don't use Uber in a month? My subscription money will go to waste. So you cannot say for something like Uber, you will be using subscription as your pricing model when there is marketplace. You are not using marketplace model, you are using subscription model for a product like Uber. Another one, for a product like Opay, you are not using transaction based, you are using marketplace. Well, even you, if even if you use, yeah, marketplace will not even work for it. It might partially, but no. Or you are using subscription for, or what's it called, for Opay. How? People should subscribe before they send money. So you need to really understand. Or you are using license based, or yeah, I think is it more licensing rights model. You are using licensing rights model for Opay. So what has that got to do with the end users? Are they into remittance, or are they the one using your license with you? Are they not consumers when it is not an enterprise software? So you cannot use the wrong model and expect the right result. So that's another thing. If you use the wrong pricing model, you need to think very well before you use a pricing model for your product. Don't go and use the wrong pricing model. If you use the wrong pricing model, it's going to affect the product, and the product is going to fail woefully. So use the right one, don't use the wrong one. Look at what your competitors are doing. That's how you can do it. And your MVP testing as well. You test, you experiment. Look at what other people are doing. Internet subscription, we already know that for ISPs is subscription that they are using. They don't use marketplace, they don't use licensing rights, they don't use freemium. Okay, you want to do internet subscription, you are now using freemium. It might even partially work sha. You can't use premium model, you can't do Uber and say you want to use the freemium model. It doesn't work that way. Another one is poor user experience. Poor user experience, like they send support ticket is taking 48, 58, 48, 72 hours before support to respond. Any product that is live, your support team needs to be on ground, and that's why I said it. And this boil down to market tricks again. That's why I said it, that as product manager you need to prioritize what over what. Now, if you know that your system is not too good, you want to go and launch, okay, you want to launch the product, you need to know that your 247 support system is on ground, so that when they raise bug, your engineering team will not use forever to resolve that bug, whereby customers will lose interest and lose the trust that they have for your brand. So poor user experience is something you should also manage when it comes to risk management. Look at the products you want to put out to the market. Do you have do you have support team that is going to support that product, so that when any issue arise, they are able to trash everything out on time? Because poor user experience is not something good. Users will lost their trust, and the business will also lose its integrity. Entering the market too late, so that's another thing when it comes to market risk. Entering the market too late, you have to manage that too. And how do you manage that? You manage that through your MVP. So that's why I said, if you want to prioritize quality over going to the market early, you need to think of it as a product manager. Now, you want to enter is if you say you are building something, it's a risk, because how are you sure that before you finish building that now that person would not have come with same idea and launch the market? So you have to be able to manage that kind of risk effectively and efficiently, mitigate it. And how you can mitigate it is building your MVP. You build your MVP and you test. You are in the market, you are using the market to learn. That's how you can mitigate that. But if you say you want to completely eradicate, you might end. That's why I said don't completely eradicate risk. If you say you want to eradicate that, you might end up to into rushing to produce something that is so buggy, has issues. So you need to really think about that as well as a product manager. So your role as a PM is to ensure that your user interview goes well, your MVP is tested well, you experiment and you do your alpha beta testing. Then continuous feedback loop is very important. It's very, very important. Continue to get feedback, and that's what will help you in iterating your product so that you can mitigate market risks. Now let's look at the compliance risks. Let's use the fintech focus now. When we talk about compliance risks, we talk about the risks of violating laws, regulations, or industry standard. This is what regulator says. You don't want to violate it. What's the risk when you violate it? You don't meet industry standard. You're fearing that your license might not be seized or withdrawn from you. So you need to be able to manage that very well. That's what compliance risk has to do with. So it's the risk that is involved when you violate the laws, the standard, the industry standard, and the regulations guiding your industry or guiding that business that you have. So example includes a weak KYC or AML check. So like I said, we're using the fintech focus. If you work in a fintech space and you're trying to build a product, if your KYC and AML is not strong enough, you have not started building. So you need to look at that. Weak KYC and AML check. Your KYC, which is your know your customer or know your business, depending. needs to be needs to be rigid. I don't know the right word for it, but you just have to be there. You have to ensure that everything on compliance side is there, because any small thing can take away your license and your AML rule. Your AML is your anti-money laundering checks. So ensure that okay, your platform is not being used for anti-money laundering. I mean, it's not used for money laundering. So you have to put all those check. You have to ensure that it is strong. Your KYC and your AML is strong. Another one is data privacy breaches. That's why most fintech app, there's this data privacy that they tell you that all your data are secure. So you have to manage that risk too, so that customers' information will not be breached. Some customers' information will not leak out that fraudsters or other persons, external parties, will use it for something else. So you need to look at the data privacy. How are your data stored? Are they securely stored? Are they securely stored that it doesn't result to issues later? Another one is unlicensed financial activities. Ensuring that your platform, your products is not being used for unlicensed activities. For instance, you're doing remittance in Nigeria, CBN has given you license, and CBN has banned cash pickup transactions, as we know. Are you ensuring that your platform is not being used for cash pickup? One, okay, they said the maximum amount that you can receive a day is 50,000 naira, for instance. Are you ensuring that transactions that are sent are not more than 50,000 naira? So that what's it called? That law, that rule has to be there, so that you monitor all of those things. You are not the one to monitor it o, but you manage it, you put the process in place, and the compliance person picks it up from there. The regulatory non-compliance, are you ensuring that you are compliant with the regulatory body? They say you cannot do more than 50 transactions in a day. Are you abiding by that? They say you must collect 20 information from your customers before they start transacting. Are you abiding by that? So what's your role as a PM in all of this? You have to collaborate early with the compliance team. That's why I said we work cross functional. So collaboration here is very, very important. You need to collaborate with the compliance team to ensure that things work out well. Early compliance collaboration will lead to you building the right products, because imagine you are not complying with I mean you are not working with your compliance team, and you go on your own to build a product that has no what's it called, how do I put it now, that did not put in mind compliance. Imagine compliance team collect BVN in your sign up form. There is no even field for BVN. So you need to work with them as early as possible, so that you can be compliant. That's your job here when you're managing compliance. So when you see yourself working with your compliance team, it's you trying to manage the risks that has to come with the compliance. So another one, it's building compliance into product flow. So for every of your flow, as you design your flows, as you work on your flow, let compliance reflect in it. Let compliance show that, oh okay, from the point of onboarding, customer input their BVN for compliance check. Compliance immediately checks, look up for BVN if BVN is valid. So you are putting them into the product flow. So compliance needs to be visible in the product flow. So another one is ensuring documentation and approvals. You should always ensure that, oh, there are documentations for your privacy breach. For instance, now you have a documentation that says, okay, this is how we are going to manage our data privacy. This is how it's going to work. This is what we'll do now. Like, as a product manager, be writing notes. Like, documents is very important, because tomorrow now stakeholders will tell you, ah, they didn't know that this is it. Oh, they tell you, when did this one happen? When, but you, as a program manager, you have documents for everything, and you can always refer them back to the document. Because there are times that it has happened to me very well. You tell your engineers to build one thing, you now check the system, they'll build another thing. And that's why I said our PRD is our source of truth. You say you now be confused that, is this what I said it should be? Abi, am I the one that did not know what I'm doing? But when you go back to your documents, you are able to like reference your document back to them that, oh, this is it, this is what you said in the document. And even them said they're able to reference the document. For instance, you might have, maybe you want to change requirements and you did not update your document. Now say, do this one. They will even reference you back to your document that you said this. This is the flow. So it's very, very important that you ensure proper documentation and approvals of those documents. That's why so PRD will have drafts, they will have the approved, so it's a different status of our PRD. So it will help us. So let's quickly look at this simple risk assessment framework. So always know that risk, the formula is risk is equals to impact times the likelihood. What's the impact of this thing times the occurrence? Now we have risks, likelihood, impact, and priority. Payment failure, that's the risk here. And remember that risk equals to impact plus likelihood. So now the impact is high, the likelihood is high. So if the impact of payment failure, meaning is going to be occurring, the occurrence rate is high, then what impact is it going to have on customer is also high. In that way, your priority is critical. Critical. Remember that this is the stages, the hierarchy. Critical, high, medium, and low. So if impact and likelihood is high, then it is your top most priority, critical. Then another one is poor onboarding. What's the likelihood of this poor onboarding? The likelihood is medium, and the impact as well is medium. So your priority, it's medium. Your UI design issues, the priority, the impact is low, the likelihood is low. That way, your priority too will be low. Let's look at it in the real world now. Payment failure is high. Everybody gets irritated with payment failure. I send money to you, it fail. I'm even scared to do another one because I'm not sure, maybe they might still come back and remove my money. The impact is high. The likelihood that this thing is going to be occurring is high too. Then it's a critical problem that can cause loss to the business and the product. So we need to treat it with urgency, in quote, urgency. Now, when you look at poor onboarding, it's still medium. The likelihood is medium. The impact is medium because people will still on board even if you ask them 20 informations. People that want to on board will still on board. Some will even feel like, I just want to asking me plenty questions like this. That means the platform is very secure. Some will interpret it that way and they will still on board. Or you just ask them very few information, no adequate information. People that we on board, they will still on board. So that's medium. Now, poor UI design issues. Not everybody looks like, look at the UI that, okay, this UI, this one is intuitive, this one is not giving, this one. So some persons, what they're after is, let me send my money, for instance, if it's a fintech app. Let me send my money, let receiver receive my money. I don't care about what the UI looks like. The UI might even be white and black. But it's none of my business. In as much as what I'm doing is going through, then I don't have any cause for alarm. So some are not even that, what's it called? They are not fancy of all these good UI, in as much as whatever it is you want to use the UI for, it works, then there is no problem. So that's low, and that's something you can come back to. So you know that the first thing first that you need to attend to is the payment failure. Then after the payment failure, you can now look at the poor onboarding, and lastly, you can look at the UI design to make it giving to your users. So product managers prioritize high impact. As a product manager, you have to prioritize high impact and high likelihood risks at first. So if the impact and the likelihood is high, then it's a top priority. It's a top priority if it is high. So let's use a Nigerian fintech application called OP as a case study. And we are looking at the case of the OP wallet growth in Nigeria. We all know about the OP wallet. So OP focuses heavily on rapid user growth. If we look at OP very well, you will know that what they focus on is growth. There was a rapid user growth from OP. Then they focus on free transfers. You transfer, they don't receive money for transferring this. It's free of charge. So another one is cashback incentives. When they started, for every transaction or every airtime that you do, you get a cashback. So that alone brought people to the app to use the app. So it's just like that is where they heavily focus their own marketing on, the rapid user growth. Then there's free transfer and there's cashback incentive. How many people will not want to collect back the money that they've used to recharge their phone if you know that you want to recharge and you get something in return? So they want to use the app. So let's look at the market risks. We are going to look at the three types of risks now when it comes to OP. The market risk is, would user trust a new fintech brand with their money? That's a question their PM or the management will ask when they were about to start building the idea of Opida. Would they trust? And that's still the same question that you would ask yourself if by tomorrow you are deciding to build a fintech application. You'll be like, will people trust you? Even some commercial banks and Nigerians do not trust them. So that's a major problem. Like that's a market risk that Opay face. Would user trust a new brand with their money? Anything that has to do with money, you really need to trust where you're putting your money into. So that's the market risk scare. And how was Opay able to manage this? Opay was able to manage this by aggressive promotion to drive adoption. Opay was everywhere. There was promotions for adoption. You see here and there. Even till now, Opay is still being advertised for adoption. Even at some point, I'll be like, these people, sure they don't have enough customer yet. They are still doing this their uh campaigns to ensure that they have more customers. So you see people on the streets with ATM cards, with POS, about OPay, asking people to come and open. So aggressive promotions was the drive that they use for the new to drive adoption. Another one is the simple, easy to use wallet feature. They made sure that their wallet was simple, it was easy to use. Is not something that will require manual or something that will require you to go and talk to their customer care or support team that please I want to send money to someone. How am I going to do this? No. That's why I say when you build product for, think of it as people that you're building your product for are not the smart ones. They are not learned. Don't go and overemphasize that these people should know this, these people should build it as if there are people that don't even know what you're building. They don't know about it, and when you they don't know anything yet, they're not learning people. And when you build it, it's self-explanatory for them to use. So that's another way that they were able to manage these market risks. They were able to just build a UI that everybody at a glance you can quickly use the UI. Then strong offline agent network. Opay has a strong offline agent network. In your house, they will come and meet you. That in fact, till now, you will see their agents everywhere asking you to come and open accounts. Like they have a very strong offline agent. So even if you don't have a smartphone, your market women, market men, they will give you ATM card for free. Is it for free? Yeah, I think yes. So they will give you ATM card, they will open account for you. You don't need to have a smartphone. Even with your USSD, you can do your transfers, receive alerts and all that. So they were able to troubleshoot this problem by using a strong offline agent network. That's another thing they did. So now let's look at the results. Massive user growth. Imagine today the analysis, the number of people that uses Opay. So there was massive user growth. So let's look at their trade-off now. High cost of growth. Yes. They spent money. They spent money to achieve this growth. Imagine how much they must have lost during this incentive of a thing and this tapping every day. When you log in and tap, you get 10 naira. Imagine how many Nigerians were doing that thing and how much they would have been losing on a daily basis just because they want to drive user growth. So that's their trade-off for it. The high cost of the growth was high cost. All these agents.
They might not consider it. They might not consider it money wastage. They might just consider it as an investment, just a marketing strategy.
Yeah, true, true, true. It's like an investment. It's true, though. It's true. It's true. You're right.
Because if they want to pay television stations for advert and all of those, they will still have to pay. So maybe it's just part of their marketing.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. But it was a lot of money, honestly. So that kind of person, uh, they must have had money on ground for the business. Like not really expecting returns immediately. They were not expecting that returns immediately. They had enough money to use for all of these marketings, and yeah, the growth was high cost. Yeah, I agree with you. So let's look at their technical risks now for still OP. High transaction volume could overload the system. People were using it. Free transfer, no charges. Hmm. So now the risk is high transaction volume, like could overload their systems. That's the risk now, the technical risk. How were they able to manage these risks? Gradual future rollout. When Open started, they didn't have a lot of features like they did now. So they were gradually rolling out their future. I'm not sure they had spend and save then. Oh wealth, all of those things. So they were gradually rolling out that feature. That was how they were able to tackle the high transaction volume risk. Because imagine they have spend and save. 100 persons are trying to use the spend and save feature at once. The system might be overloaded and crash. But they were gradually rolling out features. Gradually, they started first with send money, receive money, airtime. So as time goes on, they were gradually rolling out feature. This is Opay trying to manage their technical risks. And what's the technical risks? Risks of overloading the system. Then backend scaling was another thing too. They started scaling up their backend to ensure that the system is scalable enough to accept enough transactions volumes. Another thing they did was monitoring transaction success rate. So for this, so that the system doesn't overload, they were monitoring their transaction success rate, and that's why they have high success rate to failure rate. Like it got to some point that people will tell you that if you send money to them and they did not see it and it's OP, they tell you it's OP. OP does not reverse money. They'll tell you OP doesn't fail. Like they were able to like do that you are sure that any money that you have been debited of, in as much as it is OP, the money has gone. The money has gone. If it is to be reversed, that they will reverse it immediately. So they were able to manage this by monitoring their transaction success rate. I'm very sure that looking at OPay, their transaction success rate is like 90, if not 99.9%. It's not like transactions don't fail, but their success rate is very, very high. So that was how they were able to manage this technical risks of high volume overloading the system. They're able to roll out their feature gradually. They did not just roll out feature, put all the feature, 100 features at once. My feature, my app can do this, my app can do this beyond, because Opay is beyond banking, and then I need to release 200 features so that they can know that yes, I'm there. Look at the new feature that they have now. As Easter is coming, there's Easter savings. You can save up for Easter, you can save up for Christmas, depending. So as festive season, anything festive is approaching, they will have a savings plan for it. Now they have their own spend and save. They even have lending. They can lend money too. So but at first they didn't roll out all of this. They were just gradually rolling out all of these features, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, and they were scaling their backend as they roll out these features while also monitoring their success rates. So what's the lesson for PM here? Growth without technical stability creates trust issues. Yeah. So now, if people are using your app, people are using your product, but your product is not stable, there will be trust issues. there will be trust issues that what if I use this product tomorrow? No, this one that they can crash at any time. They will tell you that they are undergoing what will I call it? They are undergoing system maintenance. Users trust. Look at what is happening now. Since the invention of all of these uh digital banks, commercial traditional banks, most people are like they're just like they use more of all of this rather than this, rather than using their commercial banks because the system is stable. Opay was able to manage their technical risks. Do you think if a lot of transaction was failing on Opay, many people would want to use Opay? Most people have decided to divert or started using Opay just because of that success rate that you send transaction and your transaction goes through. It's not like they debit me, I not see money. They double debit me. They said I should come and collect my money in how many days before they will reimburse me. So that assurance, like when I'm going to the market,
But even
okay,
okay,
please proceed.
so if even if the money is not going through, like the other bank, they can tell you if the network is not good. Like to be written there, so bank network
Yeah,
is not going through. The money is there, yeah, yeah.
exactly. But how many of the other commercial banks will tell you they will just go through it. It might even fail or it will just show pay. You will not even understand, but they will remove the money first. That usually after the money, I've noticed that thing. They will remove the money first, and your receiver might not receive money. So many people like they've moved to all of these digital banks, these fintech apps because of that success rate. Because even me, I'm always confident that if I'm going to the market, that's what I will use because I know market people will tell you that they not see money, they not see money. Any money I want to use, I'll put it in my OP. I know that okay, yes, this is what I'm going to use. That I will not have issues of I receive money, I did not receive money, they debit me, I did not debit, they did not debit me. Like there's that trust, level of trust. But imagine that the failure rate is like other banks that you've used in the past. People will be skeptical to want to use it. Like, hey, are you sure? I don't want problem. Oh. Though some people still have trust, like trust issues, like all these old people. They tell you that if Ope go and pack off tomorrow, nko. Ope is insured, so it's not something that they can like even if they fold up, you collect your money. It's insured already. So these are things that this is lessons for PMs that grows without technical stability. If your system is not stable, it will create trust issues. Your system fails today, tomorrow, maintenance, next tomorrow, issues. So I even imagine Opay customer service. Do they even really have inquiries that they attend to? I don't know. Because me, okay, I remember that I think I've mailed them once. And why I mailed them once was I was scammed. So I had to mail them. And when I mailed them, they responded and they were able to even they were not able to recover all the money, oh, but they were able to recover the last transfer that I made. They were able to recover the last transfer I made. Yes, they were able to recover the last transfer I made. I was even surprised when I saw the money. I was like, wow. If it was to be another I'm not sure I will even be able to see that money. Like they reversed the money. Money that I've sent to somebody and the person is a scammer. They were able to reverse it. Like they were able to reverse the last one. I wasn't able to reverse the I think the first two I did. So I think that was the only time I mailed them. Aside that, I don't have issues. I don't have issues. Like you loaded time. I think that was the day I loaded that time and it's recently. I loaded that time. I wanted to use it to do data. Now told me insufficient fund. And I said, so this data did not enter. Let me go and mail them or let me go and check. When I now said let me call my internet service people. They now said I've already subscribed that they removed the money for the subscription fee. I said, oh, okay. So like there's this level of trust that you get when it comes to using them. So yes, the lesson that we should learn here is growth without technical stability will create trust issues. So whatever product you are building, let there be technical stability, manage the technical risks well. Then the compliance risks of OPE here. Operating in a tightly regulated financial environment. Yes. The compliance team, the regulatory environment is kind of tight. How were they able to manage these strong KYC processes? They have a strong KYC processes. They have, if you want to be able to send a certain amount of money, you have to put your NIN. Yes, you have to use your NIN. You have to get your utility bill. Then licensing with regulators. They have their licensing with regulators. They have now. Say, if I heard that they can now do, they can enroll for BVN. Yes, you can go to any OPay office to enroll for BVN. They have that license now from CBN. So they work closely with compliance teams as well to ensure that they're able to manage compliance. Look at what they will tell you now. If you are sending large amount, they tell you that this is a large amount to verify. You can even do face verification before you send it if it's a large amount. So that's what they do now. And they will tell you to double check your transaction well. And even at that, say, look at the issue I have. You were still able to reverse my last transaction. So lessons for horses in fintech, compliance is not optional. Always know that. If you find yourself in the fintech space, it is not optional, it is survivor. You want your products to be existing, you want the business to be existing, it is your survivor technique that you should know. So it's not optional. Don't say, this thing is optional. No, it's not optional. So let's quickly look at the PM rule in risk management. PMs do not write legal policies. So don't say that because you're a risk, you have to, they tell you should go and learn risk management now. You don't have to be writing legal policy, terms and condition. These are the terms and condition on this page before you can what's it called, proceed. Code security systems, there is nothing that concerns you with this. Now this is what you should do: identify your risks early. Ask hard questions, like ask your developers, your engineering team, compliance team, ask them hard questions, think about it, involve the right team. Yes, don't go and be asking compliance technical question, or asking technical team compliance question. Balance speed, growth and safety. You have to balance your speed, the growth and the safety. You cannot say because you want to grow, you want people to be using you, you want many adoption, your platform is not safe. Hackers can come and hack. So you have to balance your speed, your growth, and the safety of that product that you are working on as a product manager. You have to really work on it, build that trust. So thank you. We've come to the end of our risk management in products. Let me share the slide with us now. Let me share the slide with us. So tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow is Thursday. We'll talk. Thursday. It's tomorrow Thursday. Yes, so I think we'll let's do 10 as well. Let's do 10. Yeah, let's do 10. Let's do 10 tomorrow. Uh, let's do 10. So we'll talk about conflict management. How you can manage your conflicts with developers, conflicts with this, that. So let's talk about that tomorrow. Risk management. So I want to share this now. Let me know if you have any question, in as much as risk risk management in product is
Okay.
concerned.
I want to say something concerning yesterday's class.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get the slide, ma,
Okay, I'll share it again. I'll share it again.
on the group.
Okay, on the
Yes, ma.
group. Yeah, I dropped it here. No worry. I will drop it. Yeah, Tofumi, I've not forgotten uh the all the topics. I will share that soon. Have you forgotten that? So this is today's slide on the chat box. Yeah, so Babatunde is asking if why is he the only one talking? Like I said yesterday, I don't know. We are dull these days. What's happening? We're not talking like before. We need to, especially these capstone projects, like I think
We are getting tired of the whole program.
why?
It's almost 6 months now.
Yes, we are done now. Class is going to end. Class is going to end on Friday. Then you were not in the class on Monday. Class is ending already now. We've touched almost all the topics. So we'll just do conflict management tomorrow, and then Friday we can look at any assignments, any questions. Then we are done. Then you start the capstone projects. So we've rounded up already. We start the capstone projects. I think when we said this week or latest next week, we should start the capstone projects. And you know that the capstone project, you are going to be the one talking, doing you will be the product manager there. So the clients will just be on the call. You'll be the one doing all of this talking. So we should not be tired. Today is just Wednesday, so it's 2 months to go and we are done. Does that make sense to us? We are not saying anything. Abi, we are tired again. Yeah, I promise not to share AI promptings.
We are tired again.
We'll be tired. We are almost done. That's just it. We are almost done. Are we even ready for this capstone project? Are we ready? Okay. Everybody's ready. So you guys can talk now when it gets to the capstone project. Well done. Don't worry. Friday class is going to be an interactive class. You're not ready. Okay. Noted. But today you're not ready. You want to hold on to when? Hey. Okay. So that's the AI slide. I just sent the AI slide. I'll put it on the WhatsApp group after this call. Don't worry, just come to class tomorrow. Let's do 10 a.m. tomorrow as well. So come to class tomorrow. Then Friday we are done. Don't worry, you're not see my face again. You not hear my voice again until further notice. By yeah, Friday is just going to be reviewing assignments. You will be the one doing the most of the talking on Friday, though. So yeah, any question? So anything at all? So please let's make it a date. Tomorrow we'll just talk about conflict resolution, how you can how you can manage
You
conflict.
said you gave us assignments. When was it yesterday also?
Yes, it's on that slide I shared. Check
Oh,
the AI
okay,
prompting slide. Yes, it's on the AI slide. So Friday, I will not
okay,
say
okay.
anything on Friday. We will be the one talking. So let's get prepared. We'll be the one talking on Friday. So that's going to be our last. Then yeah, we'll start the on projects officially. All right. All right. Amazing. Thank you. Okay, Chika. You can enter my DM. It's free. Oh. You can always enter my DM. No problem. All right. Thank you so much, team. Thanks for joining today's meeting. We'll meet tomorrow, same time. Thank you, Chika. Tofumi, I've not seen your emojis today. I've not heard from you. It's Tofumi on this call. I've not seen Tofumi. Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, thank you guys, and do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.